Heather Mcdonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop whoop. Heather Mcdonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Oh my gosh, what a crazy last couple days I've had. I have a great show for you today. I've got Justin Martindale coming in a little bit, but I wanted to cover more of what I have discovered about the Balenciaga fallout. Thank you for all the great response that I got from Tuesday's show with Lala Kent. If you've not seen that, we talk about it. A lot of people are coming back and still saying, why is mainstream media not talking about this? My sister just watched all of E! News last night. Not a mention of it. As you know, I'm a big TikTok person, and TikTok knows what I'm into. So they're sending me a lot of creators that are going deep dive on this, and they are discovering so much. And I want to share with you it because I believe it should be discussed, and you can make up your own conclusions of what you think it is. I think it's extremely interesting, and I think it's extremely interesting how everything has gone down. So let me catch you up. So Kim and Kanye announced yesterday on TMZ that their divorce is finally settled and that they will have joint custody, but she will have the kids the majority of the time. And if they can't decide on something, or if one person doesn't make it to mediation, she will have the right to make that decision by herself. She is also entitled to $200,000 a month of child support from Kanye, which will be wired into her account, and they share expenses of private school. So hopefully they're off to a better start. Because when I look back on their relationship and how it relates to fashion, I think what really is going on here is that I believe Kim, who is getting a lot of backlash for the way she is responding to her relationship with Balenciaga. She made a statement and she said, I'm going to reevaluate my relationship with them. They said they don't know how this happened. It'll never happen again. But what we've discovered is that this really has kind of been a big part of Balenciaga for quite a while now, a few years now. And not until this tweet, which makes me also wonder, this tweet that originally brought up the fact that that this ad with these kids with the bondage teddy bears, and then, of course, the ad with the purse on top of the Supreme Court case with the argument of why they don't want to call it child corn anymore. I guess we have to say that, otherwise you won't be able to see this video. But being that anything with children that might be considered dangerous to them should be also considered art if it's a photo. So the fact that that was put out there for a reason, and I believe it was a reason, and everybody that I've talked to said that it comes from the very top of the designers to say what they want an ad to look like. It's not the set designer's fault. It's not the production person. It's not the agency that hired the photographer's fault. But that is who Balenciaga is suing, which I believe is ways to get the heat off of them. They were doing this for so long, and no one with any kind of voice put 2 and 2 and 4 and 8 together to realize that this is a company that wants to show satanic worship and child endangerment in their ads. Even if it's secretly displayed in a corner in like a black hoodie, which some of you guys didn't understand what that was, but that's like the black hoodie of the art and everything that happens in satanic worship. Or if it's just hidden in different images. Many people bought it. Many people liked it. Many people thought they were part of high art. And I believe one of those people was Kim Kardashian. So this came up yesterday. This is a TikToker. Now, these TikTokers, they only have 540 likes, okay? Because this isn't mainstream, okay? And TikTok knows that I'm interested, so they're sending me these great young TikTokers. Life is Good 202224 is this girl. And a lot of people are comparing the fact that the art from the book of the author that was featured in the ad with the purse on the Supreme Court papers arguing that these type of things should be considered freedom of speech and therefore should be allowed, children in danger visually, okay, is the fact that it's the covered face, the completely black covered face. As you recall, Kim wore that to the Met Gala. It was Balenciaga. She wore it out. There's a photo of her carrying one of her children in it with 3 other children in black behind her. North has worn a complete mask. Her face is covered, but we know it's North. And they all went to the fashion show with their mom and dad. They were all part of it. They all have business relations with it. Allegedly, Balenciaga owns 20% of Skims. So I understand she has a lot involvement with Skims, but I also think the freedom of being super wealthy to the point that you own a plane, which, by the way, once you own a plane, that's a huge tax write-off. That's why people own planes, even though someone would go, doesn't it make more sense just to charter the plane every time? No, it doesn't. That's why people own planes. Anyway, you would think someone with that kind of wealth could go, get me out of this contract. I don't care. There's got to be a moral clause in there. And I think morally, Balenciaga doesn't line up with my morals. Get me out. She's trying to figure it out. She has a team of people, team of lawyers, team of PR person. In the meantime, let me show a 10 slide of my house and my interior, and you guys can see how I haven't hung anything up in 10 years. It's weird. I thought it was weird. People loved it. I saw her trees outside of her bathroom. I thought that was pretty. There's some cool things. She's trying to distract us. Also, the TikTokers realized, I saw a video that she lost a lot of followers. She's still at 350 million or whatever. And they showed a video of all the people that have just started to follow her, and they appear to be robots or bot people with no history or bios. Interesting, okay? All of this is what I see on TikTok. It's all alleged. It's all a rumor. It's all my opinion as Heather Mcdonald with one other person working with me, Annie, okay? So if something I'm saying is not 100% right, I'm not saying it's 100% right. I'm saying what I did last night, and it was going on TikTok and reading a bunch of shit. So I think what Kim needs to say is when you see a photo of her with the head, we talked about it on the show. I was like, I think it's fucking weird. I think it's ugly, but hey, I guess you don't have to do your makeup. I guess it gets people talking. What I think she should do is to say, do a video to the camera, put it out there and go, listen, I never studied this stuff in school. I was into fashion. I worked at a fashion store when I was 18 years old. I used to wear, tight dresses. I got with Kanye. He introduced me to Anna Wintour and all these other people. And I got into this higher echelon of where we're hanging out with Karl Lagerfeld and all these people in Europe. I'm having my wedding here. I'm in this world of high European, high fashion. And that's what I thought this was. And when they brought me this stuff, I thought, okay, it's chic, it's different, it's making a splash. Not everybody has done it. I did not realize there was a correlation between this look and satanic worship in which children were in the art or whatever we want to call it. They want to call it art, but in which children were a part of satanic worship. Okay. And therefore I don't agree with it. Now that it's all been put together, I'm not going to be a part of it. But a lot of people didn't. Maybe there was a TikTok with 50 views where when she was wearing this, they were like, what the fuck, you're into satanic worship. I did not. E-News didn't. Nobody else did. Me just talking about this, I've been accused, like, what has gone on with Heather? Why is it? This is just, there's an article, which I have not read yet, but I just saw the headline, how high fashion and QAnon come together. They're trying to say that anybody that is upset about this is part of QAnon, which we know there is no Q. We know that was a dark part of an underworld of society in which a lot of people got sucked in. One part of that was people trying to expose pedophilia around the world and pedophilia rings as well as satanic worship. So this is now why people are like, wait a minute. And they're looking at everything, and they're looking at ads, and they're looking at things, and they're looking at images that are coming all over and realizing that this is like a darkness that we don't want to be a part of, and we want to bring to light that this isn't cool because children who do not have a say and that are innocent are being dragged into it. And other people are saying, but Heather, you showed, just like Daily Mail, you showed the ad of the two little kids who are Balenciaga employees' children holding the S&M bears. That ad, I don't believe those children were hurt in the creation of that photo shoot. I don't. And again, I don't even know that their parents were totally aware of it. You know, it's like, oh, you know, other people, I thought it was a bear that looked like, you know, I'm like, oh, I could make one of those bears from Target. I could run my car over it. I could put some like lingerie on it and like make fun of it. The first time I saw it, I was like, what's going on? Now we all see the symbolism and how deep it goes. So that's what I think she should say to save herself. Okay, now there's this other designer that's a big part of this. Her name's Loda Volkova, okay? And she had her own Instagram. All this has been taken down. All this has been made private. And she has a photo of a girl in red latex. Remember, Balenciaga was all into that latex. Remember when Kim Kardashian was in a brown latex and she looked like she was the camel from the cigarette ad? Okay. That is cheap shit. It's hideous. It's gross, along with spandex, where the shoe matches. That's all cheap, ugly shit. And I was like, what is with orthopedic shoes? What's with a sweatshirt that you pay $1,100 for? I was constantly like, this Kanye shit's ugly. The emperor has no shoes. When are people going to wake up? No shoes. The emperor has no clothes. When are people going to realize this shit is fucking ugly? So be grateful that going into 2023, maybe you won't be. Now that you're so disgusted, maybe you will also look and go, I don't want an ugly thing. That goes for ugly prairie dresses. I don't want ugly clothes that are unflattering to me, that are overpriced. I don't. So let's invest in some better quality and some better designers. These people are into sick shit, okay? Nicole Kidman, silent. She's a big part of the ad. She was part of that whole office look, was supposed to be her. She has said nothing. Celine Dion, do you remember when she did a collab with them about babies? And the commercial was very creepy. And people thought it was creepy, but did it make a big splash? Did NBC talk about it? No. But it was creepy. I just saw the ad last night. She's like, they are not our children. They're all of our children. Well, now that's a creepy fucking thing to say. Why is someone's child's not my child to do with what I want with it? That ad is creepy. The clothes are creepy. Here's a baby onesie with a little hoodie with devil ears, okay, to put on your baby. These are expensive baby clothes. The new order says one, a big A on another, an Illuminati eye. These are all some of the items that like no one even looked at. Little kids with like weird zebra heads on that look like they're part of like Eyes Wide Shut. This weird cross thing. Which is like a strange looking cross. All of this, you guys, is on my YouTube. Please subscribe because I know I'm showing a lot of photos. So if you want to go back. So there's these two guys and this girl that where they're all creative directors for Balenciaga. And their images are crazy, like very scary images. I'm showing them here. This is another image from Loda where a child looks terrified with like a scary mask, scary person. It's like a baby terrified face. Another one is a statue of a little child holding up a skull with symbols around it, one of them being 69 and a bunch of other weird shit. This is all from Loda's. Another one is a little child with what looks to be the devil, pulling its ears and licking its face, and it's trapped. The child is trapped and distressed. Again, this is from Albin _ Adam. His Instagram is now private. He was one of the designers of Balenciaga. This is stuff that he put out on his Instagram that people didn't, maybe you did and you just didn't have a good enough reach, but now we all know. So they were putting this information out and they were trying to get their messages across. I also heard that with satanic worship, they don't believe in karma. Here's the deal. Like this is distressing, and I believe these people were putting out these symbols all along because what I have studied, and I don't know if this is true, but when you are part of satanic worship, and you don't really believe in karma and the fact that if you put it out there and you don't keep it a secret, and you wink to all the other people that are part of it, that therefore it's like we didn't make it a secret. The other thought of why did Balenciaga do this? Why would they tell on themselves? Are they trying to get this message out so that we are desensitized to it, so that children are indoctrinated into it, that we start to think this stuff is more normal? So if we are approached by true evil, we will accept it. I don't know. Or was it that someone at the top knew that this was going on and wanted this to explode, and they were the ones that put this all out there, hoping that this would happen? I disagree, because they've been doing it for a while, and it just took this one person to put it out there on Twitter, which I said, like, I don't know if this would have been put out 3 months ago on Twitter, would we have known about it? I don't know. But that is what started everybody talking. It's another horrible image of a girl about 9 in clothes, but bondaged around her body. I also want to say it reminds me of all the Astroworld symbolism. When Astroworld happened, there was a lot of symbolism in that concert that people felt aligned with satanic worship. And then, of course, a horrible tragedy there. Very strange. So it's really all coming together. And whether this is a conscious effort of people that are really involved in this, or if they join companies and businesses and are influenced by these people thinking that this is high art or whatever, it's a discussion that we're allowed to have here at Juicy Scoop. Maybe not on every news station, but on mine, I'm talking about it. And I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate people that, like I saw Julia Fox, who's very popular on TikTok, and I think she's bright, and she's like, what about the church? What about all the pedophiles and all that in church? Yeah, there's a ton of pedophiles in church, like I said, at trailer parks, in middle America, in a nice home in Florida. It's everywhere. But I think there's two different things that are happening here, because I think this is more about, my personal opinion, more about the satanic worship. And I think that is one thing because there's corruption in religion and church, but in Judaism and Catholicism and Christianity and Islam, it's about being a good person and doing good onto others. And that is not what is the principles of satanic devil worship. And I think that's the difference. And that's why people are like, why is this coming out in ads? And why is this in clothing that is all over Nordstrom's and everywhere else? And Selma Hayek's billionaire husband owns Balenciaga, the company that owns Balenciaga, and how far it goes to all these different things. Now, are all these people getting in the same room and going, I'm really excited for the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we're going to have this person send out a tweet and all the shit's going to... No, I don't think it was all planned, and I think this is all trying to cover it up. Balenciaga wrote another statement, again, shifting the blame on themselves. So they clearly do want to keep their company going. They clearly do want to keep having you buy their stuff. I'm happy to say I've never liked the look. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have one of our favorites, Justin Martindale. Did you just get the highlights touched up for the holiday season?
I don't have highlights. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, they look so...
You like them?
The sun kissed you
Yes.
several times.
Multiple times.
Around the crown. Mm-hmm. And it looks amazing.
Thank you.
Hair is looking
Shout
so cute.
To Planet Salon and Elle, my hairdresser.
You're going to look so good for my holiday party, which is around the corner. Mm-hmm. Less than a week away, everyone. All right, let's get into it. You know how I love a Costco.
You love a Costco.
And the Costco jewelry. So I was there the other day, and I've gotten a pair of earrings from them and a necklace and this gold necklace. So I've gotten 3 items from the fancy section of the jewelry. And they have like real jewelry. So I went and showed Drake some earrings that I want.
For Christmas?
For Christmas.
Good.
But I'm also like, they're very distinct. And I think they're I know they're quality diamonds, but I'm also like, everyone will know, also because I talk about it, that they're these Costco earrings. So I'm like, maybe I don't want to go to them. But
normalize it.
Then this one woman said, oh no, I worked in jewelry that's an excellent deal. And this is top quality diamonds. And to get earrings like that for that price, you should get them.
It's Kirkland diamonds. It's Kirkland diamonds.
So this woman went to see the stuff. You have to have the guy open it up or girl, and you try it on or whatever. And then if you say they want it, they put it back, they lock it, they give you a thing, just like if you were buying earbuds, right? And then you go and you pick it up at this other place after you purchase it with your receipt.
Uh-huh.
So what this girl did was she tried it on and everything, and then she was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I love it. Thanks. Oh, okay. Well, let me think about it. I'm not really sure if I want to. And then she kept the $28,000 ring, like had planned it out, and gave a replica ring to the guy. And then he put it back in the thing, and then she took off. And I don't know if they must have, I think they found her because obviously there's cameras everywhere, but their ring has yet to be found.
Sorceress. Whoa, that's insane.
I know, and now
well done though, but
kind of like genius. I'm like, I also feel like now those people are being that was a big Costco meeting the day after this story broke.
That's like one of those like follow the ball.
Yeah.
Like what hand is it in? What? Okay,
right.
now it's gonna. Yeah, that's like a magician.
Because there's some stuff that's like $500, like this necklace, but there is stuff as high as like $48,000 in those things that are like real engagement rings. So.
And so they're on the look for her, right?
No, they found her, but they don't at this time. The ring, maybe she already sold it and doesn't have it.
She swallowed it.
I also think if you're going to do a switcheroo kind of unless you're going to do a smash and grab and you do it in LA.
That old pastime.
And then you cover your face with a 2020 mask and a hoodie. Chances are, if you're just showing up like a cute girl looking for a ring at a Costco, you're going to be caught.
I want to know, like, what was the time frame, like, when they realized that they got the wrong ring?
Yes, I don't know.
You know?
Like, how would they know?
Was it like, wait a minute, there she goes, or was it like, okay, they put it back in the case, don't even know?
Yeah, because like, who's going to go around and then have someone be like, wait a minute, this ring looks a little different.
Yeah, that's a good one. I bet she swallowed it. She's got to be checking the toilet.
Do you remember that book that... It was a children's book, and it was like there was an old lady who had a dad who ate a fly, who
swallowed the thing, who ate the thing. Yeah. What happened to her?
I don't know. What a weird story. Like, why are we reading a book about like a woman that like obviously has an eating disorder and like?
Oh no.
Every childhood story.
Flies have a lot of
fucking
calories.
Weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Even like that book, Are You My Mother, is a weird
book.
Are
You My Mom? Yeah.
Not everybody has a mom, which is kind of sad. It's not sad that they don't have a mom. People have two dads, one dad, whatever. But like to just be like, are you my mother? And the bird is like asking a tractor if it's its mother. And you're like, how dumb are you? How dumb are you, bird? The tractor's not your mother. Just weird. I'm glad celebrities are writing new books for children.
Yeah. Well, it's good because this is the new topic because now celebrities can gaslight their children.
I love this because gaslighting is the most overused word.
It is.
But it's also kind of great. So it's a great way to go. Gaslighting is the Webster's word of 2022. It went up 1,740% more people looking it up, being like, what the fuck is this? And why do I hear it on every podcast I listen to?
Because gaslighting is now the new literally.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. Because
Wow.
everything last year was like, I'm literally doing this. Literally. Now it's gaslighting. That's gaslighting me.
And I feel like literally had like a decade time.
Yeah.
You're right.
Gaslighting is everywhere. You could go to like a fast food restaurant. They're like, your order's ready? I'm sorry, you're gaslighting me. It's not ready,
Well, I also think it's overused in that, like, you can just, anytime you're in an argument, and the way people argue is when I'd be like, no, you were trying to make me feel bad, Justin, about the fact that I chose a restaurant that you didn't like. And then you'd be like, That's not true.
Yeah.
You were and then you're like, that's not true. And so if you say that's not true because that wasn't your
Right.
intent, then I say stop trying to gaslight me.
Uh-huh.
That is true.
Exactly.
No, that's true in my brain, but that doesn't mean that was true in your. So anytime.
I have had that specific conversation.
And did the word gaslighting come in?
Absolutely. It was, this February, it was like a huge argument. And it's like, you're gaslighting me. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm telling you the truth.
And your truth
Is real.
might be different. No, but like I think there's a difference in like the way it came about was this movie where this guy was really trying to make his wife crazy. And I do think I think the best example is when you're with someone who is being deceitful, cheating on you, whatever. You're seeing evidence. He's wearing cologne. He's working out for a marathon. He's not hanging out with you. He's going to his bathroom on the phone, which he never did before, and all this stuff. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Are you seeing someone? And he's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why are you crazy? And in that case, that's gaslighting.
You have 4 phones.
Yeah.
What's wrong? Yes, exactly.
Because he knows instead of being truthful, because he knows he's lying to you, he's saying you're crazy. You're seeing things you aren't seeing. That's gaslighting.
And narcissists love the word gaslighting because it doesn't make them look like narcissists. No, I'm thinking about other people. You're just wrong and gaslighting. me.
Yes.
And you're like, no, you're insane.
Yes. So the other thing I want to say, 'cause
Sure.
I heard this, and I don't have a photo for it, it doesn't matter, is you see Will Smith did an interview with Trevor Noah.
Oh, yes, I did see that. I saw a clip.
And the little bit that I saw and read was that he said another thing that I hate, and this is my new thing that I hate. When someone does something wrong and they do something shitty to someone else, like say something super evil or spread a rumor or want to ruin your life or slap you while you're
Presenting an award.
Sure. You say, I feel terrible about it, but I was going through a bunch of stuff. This is what he said. I was going through a bunch of things, and which he doesn't tell us what he's going through. Like, tell us the fucking fight.
Right.
Tell us who Jada fucked. Which friend of your son's did Jada bone again?
Uh-huh.
And you realized it in the car ride to the Oscars. Tell us what it was.
Give us the entanglements.
Yes, give it to us. He then talks about it, and it reminded me when he said a mean thing about my wife's hair. It reminded me of when my dad would abuse my mother, and I had to witness it when I was 9 years old, and I kind of snapped. And he ends his speech on, this is the new thing I hate, because it's obviously Will Smith is a Housewives fan, because he said, hurt people hurt people. So hurt people, I have been hurt,
So
and therefore I
have
hurt
to
others.
Boo.
And that's why, is that not, who hasn't been hurt in life?
That's not a saying. That is not a live, laugh, love, like
But I'm hearing it a lot.
calligraphy.
It's the new...
Hurt people hurt people?
Yes.
Well, stop hurting people hurt people.
So, especially on, in Housewives fights and stuff, when they get to that reunion moment and they've had, a month and a half of social media people being like, you're a fucking bitch for doing that to so-and-so. Then you're like, hold on. My dad used to tell me to be quiet when I tried to talk at the dinner table.
The nerve.
I was bullied in 7th grade.
Get in line.
I had a horrible ex-husband, and I've been hurt. Hurt people hurt people. I'm sorry. I don't know why I did it, and I'm sorry that you felt that way. I'm sorry that I hurt people hurt people.
It reminds me of that scene in Mean Girls where she says, I'm sorry, I called you... wait, I didn't call you fat because you're a bitch. You're a bit... Wait, I can't remember it, but it was like... Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's like...
Look, she's got to look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Annie
It's one of my favorite things, but it's like,
You're not fat because they hate you.
I hate you because you're fat or something like that. It's like, what? But then you could say hurt people. Wow, now you're gaslighting me. Oh my God, it's just too much. Too much.
Whatever, I don't know if you saw that Bravo reunion when he was away in India finding his soul. I don't know what monk is there also watching Bravo and told him he could say this, or what PR person is saying. But the hurt people hurt people. I've been hearing it a lot. It's so dumb.
It's so dumb.
But a lot of celebrities do it, and sometimes they're like, okay, wait a minute, I've lost my popularity. People realize that I've been actually horrible and really mean and really awful. And in post 2020 world, it's not cool to be mean and awful to people anymore. And they're pulling it out from tweets and books and TV shows I've done. So let me just think about what was the worst thing that happened in my childhood? Okay, there was a really sad death in my family. Okay, so that really hurt me because I was only, a kid at the time. Hurt people. And that's why I was an awful person. So you guys should never be mad at me again. Realize I went to therapy. And now I have this whole new lookout on life, which people can change.
People can change, but
say,
it's lame.
Just say I was a selfish bitch.
Yeah,
and I did not realize that I was treating myself as I was the center of the universe. That's how I saw myself. I saw myself as better as you. I saw myself as smarter than you.
Yeah.
And
You're
I was a
threat.
dick.
Yeah.
I was a dick. And you know what? Going forward, I'm going to really try not to think so highly of myself.
We need to have a shirt. Stop saying hurt people. Just say like bitches are trash, dicks are dicks. Like that's it. Stop justifying it. There's no gaslighting. There's no, this is what it is. And I think that's such a lame excuse. Well, I'm hurt. So now, Heather, I have to hurt you. It's so weird.
I know. Like, well, you shouldn't be mad at hurting others because at one time someone hurt me.
Yeah, well now I must hurt you.
I mean, it's like literally then, okay, not to get dark, but like, okay, so if you, sexually assault someone, whether it's a person or a child or whatever, is there a chance that you were sexually assaulted at one time in your life? Yes, and that is awful. But we're not going to excuse the crime that you did on that person. So on a less severe level, like this should not be an excuse.
No, it's narcissistic / psychopathic behavior.
Right.
That's where we're getting. Narcissopathic behavior.
What he should have said, what Will Smith should have done, is
I was out of line. I'm sorry.
Just should have said, I literally don't know what the hell I was doing. I had a psychotic break. I've been working with a therapist, and I want to still act again. That's why I'm coming out and telling you, like I took a year, whatever it's been. I do want to act again. That's why I'm doing interviews. I'll never live this down. I'll be forever sorry. I obviously can't go to the Oscars for 10 years, but I am still a good actor, and I still want to do this.
And can I
just say I want to do it? And I think he will. I know because people are definitely more forgiving of men
for sure
than women, and I think they'll forgive him. And I think that he'll. He's a good actor, and there aren't a lot of people that can do what he can do. So I think he'll work again.
But also, I think the media needs to stop talking about this. Because I just feel like this is now giving him the
Nobody is talking about it. He just did another interview. So
well,
now
right.
we have to talk about it.
Now we have to talk about the slap again. And now hurt people. So it's like feeding that frenzy.
Think Chris Rock is ever going to make a bigger statement? I mean, he had an incredible tour.
No.
It helped his tour.
Of course.
I mean, he's
my buddy Rick opens for him.
Yeah, he's hilarious anyway, but it definitely brought light to let's go see, if we're going to see one comedy concert.
Yeah.
Besides Che Diaz,
yes.
Let's go see Chris Rock. And I kind of think he's handling it right. Why does he have to say anything?
He doesn't. It happened almost a year ago.
He's the victim.
Yeah, he's like, whatever,
the victim doesn't need to speak. The victim doesn't need to make it right for Will Smith. I think he handled it good.
Yeah, and
well, I mean,
yeah, he handled it well.
Yeah,
but I do think that Chris Rock is just now doing his thing now. He doesn't need it. Where I think Will is now taking red table talk advice from Jada, being like, "What's hurt people mean?"
That is very. That's where they got it from. Because I'm sure I would love to know, and believe me, there's someone sitting at home that's like, Heather, I'd like to take that assignment. How many times has a guest or a host on Red Table Talk said, hurt people, hurt people?
Let us know.
Even if you show me one clip, I'll be satisfied. Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And now he's doing this Will Smith redemption tour, and we're exhausted.
Yeah. But it was a great moment of 2022 to discuss on a podcast. Okay.
Who's that? Ben Affleck?
This is Ben Affleck. This is from People Magazine, and it's Ben Affleck smiling. J-Lo did a bunch of little like reel of photos, and one was of him and the 14-year-old twin,
Mark Anthony's
the boy
son.
twin. It's weird.
Why?
It was a little weird.
What do you mean? I know where you're going.
Well, his eyes are shut, so it looks now he may have hugged his stepdad, and someone snapped it while he hugged him with closed eyes. But it also looks weird because it looks like what you would do for a 1.5-year-old toddler that fell asleep while you're sitting in a chair, and they just are like so tired, climbs up on your lap, climbs up on their dad's shoulder, and falls asleep. Except that he's 14.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying anything is weird sexually, nothing like that. It's just a weird photo based on this kid's age and stepdad and all of it,
If I was Mark Anthony, I'd be pissed.
and that too.
I'd be like, wait, what is? Yeah, he could have been asleep in the back seat, and they're like, all right, let's get him out. And he picked him up, and he actually is asleep.
A 14-year-old?
Yeah, you know, like I always fell asleep in the car as a kid.
At 14?
Yeah.
How tall were you at 14? Now, I know these kids are smaller because they're Mark Anthony's kids, but like, I mean, by the time a kid,
I was like 5'8".
okay, and someone could carry you.
Ben
They
Affleck
wouldn't wake you
could. He was Superman or Batman or whatever.
Or could this be posed? The point is, I am talking about it, people, because she fucking put it out there.
Yes.
So if she puts it out there, I'm going to
Gotta
say
talk
I
about
think
it.
it was a weird photo, and I have a right to say it's a weird photo. I'm not saying anything sinister is happening. I'm wondering if this was posed, if he closed his eyes, if he was actually
J-Lo
asleep.
was like, get on, hug your stepdad
maybe.
and take a picture.
Honestly,
then that's weird. I think that's
maybe
weird.
they could have hugged, and then she was like, "Wait, I want to get this moment." Honey Ben smile, and they're like, they're both like, the quicker we get this done, the quicker I can get back to my video game. I don't know. I think it's weird, and and I'm not the only one that thought it was weird.
I'm making a prediction.
Yes.
I think Jennifer Lopez is going to be the next celebrity that unravels. And I have proof.
Okay, which is what?
So, according to Time Magazine recently,
Yes.
Jennifer Lopez is going to do a Whitney Houston tribute at the Grammys next year because she feels that her vocal range is up there with Whitney Houston. And I'm really hoping this isn't a fake article, but it was at Time. It was a post or a tweet. You can look it up. And she's like, oh yeah, she's doing, and she did one in 2012, but now I think that because the Grammys are coming back and that Whitney Houston movie's coming out over Christmas, that they're like, oh, Jennifer Lopez is now like, I'm singing some Whitney Houston songs because she and I are of the same caliber.
Will she have the breakdown realizing this was a horrible mistake and no one will sound as good as Whitney Houston?
I
or
think she's
does
going to
she
sing I Want to Dance with Somebody and in the middle just go, let's get loud. And everyone's like, we get it, girl.
Okay, well, if it's I want to dance with somebody and how will I know? Wait, is that hers? He
Is it
really
real?
loves me. Is that Whitney? Is that Whitney? So that's not hard, but if it's anything, the harder
If
ones.
she sings I Will Always Love You, I'm going to snap my own neck.
Get it. Well, you can. It's too hard.
To snap my own neck?
No.
Try me. If she even attempts that song, I'm going to call it a day. No way. What did you say, Annie?
No big media outlets have picked it up, but smaller ones are talking about it within the 3 hours from now.
They're doing the damage control already. See? Jennifer Lopez deleted posts.
When
That's my Instagram.
when I do my tribute.
Do you want to hear what she has to sing?
Okay, let's.
Yeah.
She's gonna sing
Annie's.
I Have Nothing and I Will Always Love You.
No!
I have nothing and I will always
She
love
does
you.
have nothing. It's called talent.
No, those are so hard.
I have nothing. Nothing. See, I can do it in my shower.
Nothing if I don't have you. My only you.
Everyone's dog in their house howling. She can't do I Will Always Love You, but will I sit glued to the television watching? Absolutely.
Okay.
That's when.
So wait, will she have the breakdown before she's getting ready for it, and we're doing another documentary on how
the
hard
Grammys will be the official breakdown because all the press coverage of that is going to send her spiraling. Watch.
Okay, that's fine with your prediction. I disagree.
You do? Why?
I disagree. I kind of feel that people like. So my other friend said I predict Kim Kardashian will be the next.
She's going to have one too.
That goes and just like, I disagree.
Yeah.
I think Kim and J-Lo are so similar.
For sure.
And I don't think they're the types that are ever going to have a breakdown or even fake a breakdown for sympathy. I don't. That's my prediction. I don't.
Kim, I mean, we saw in her halftime special her being horribly distraught that she was not nominated for an Oscar for playing the main bordello woman in Hustlers.
Right.
And she was like, I deserve that.
Okay.
She's going to snap.
listen.
Kim's already on the way because of the whole Balenciaga
Well,
thing
listen,
and
we
taking
don't
pictures
want-
of her pottery.
We don't want either person to have a
No.
breakdown. I predict that they won't, and Justin does. So we have
Mm-hmm.
all this. This is what? Okay, a Thai Buddhist temple emptied after all the monks tested positive for meth. Mm-hmm. 4 Buddhist monks were shipped off to rehab after they all tested positive. So wait, is a Buddhist? Can you look up this? Can Buddhist monks talk? Because, I mean, how boring if you're like in a group with 4 Buddhist monks and they're not telling you any juicy stories about being a meth addict. If they can't talk, how can they do like group therapy?
Conversations between monks are permitted, but limited according to the norms established by the community.
So it's limited talking unless amongst themselves. So
That's how they got caught. They were on meth just like... And they're like, hey, whoa.
why are you talking so much? Totally.
That's how they got caught.
There's like sections. There's the way the Catholic Church works is there's nuns and there's like nuns and people would start the nunneries. Like a female would start the nun. What kind of nun they were going to be. So there's nuns that taught. That's the nuns I went to, which is Sisters of St. Louis, and they were the teachers, and they all came to California, LA, and they were teaching nuns. And then there's nursing nuns, but then there are nuns that just pray and are silent. Mm-hmm. And I just remember being like, my worst nightmare is being a silent nun. Like if I were to be a nun, I was like, I'll be like a teaching nun or whatever. But like if I
would be like Julie Andrews, be like, let's start at the very beginning. Yeah.
But like I can't imagine like what a bummer. And I know there's like silent retreats and stuff. And I'm just like, I just don't think that anything sounds less Heather McDonald-ish.
You would be a Vegas nun. You'd be like one of those nuns that like go do slot machines and shit. Like, they go to like Magic Mike, you know, they're like, woo, like
But
a
also,
cool nun.
like, who thought like that's helping the world, not talking?
I don't know.
Not using your vocal cords.
I mean, this is our instrument. This is our gift.
I don't know. I don't see it.
I
but
want to know, I feel there was one monk. It only takes one monk, Heather. For that monk got the meth.
Yeah.
And was like, this is cool. I need to talk to some of my friends. And then that monk gave it to another monk, and then they all monked it down. And
I mean, first of all, you don't need, lots of times people find themselves going in a meth direction because they want to drop a few lbs. Don't need to do that when you're wearing those orange cloaks.
Yeah, but also
Very figure forgiving.
I think they were probably like methed out and just tugging that bell string like really hard, and was like, "Whoa, something's up with the
Right.
monks up at the temple
Totally.
today."
Yeah. And then, yeah, you're right. Very weird. Who gave them? Have you heard about this weirdness that's happening in the world?
Oh, with the crypto people, yeah.
So, a Russian billionaire died mysteriously in a helicopter crash. Now, the weirdest part is he is the third cryptocurrency mogul to suddenly pass away in recent weeks. I'm having Drake, who is can explain crypto to me, but also I told him to look this up. Why does he think these three people have died? It's very weird. One guy died in his sleep.
Uh-huh.
When people have mysteriously died that are powerful, it's oftentimes mysteriously in the sleep. It's oftentimes small aircrafts, or it's suicide, but it's like, but being shot in the back. But then they say, oh, it was suicide, or it's two different guns, and it's very weird. This is too much of a coincidence,
It
in
is
my
weird.
opinion.
I think it's very
And
bizarre.
I don't really understand what is going on with the crypto and the Tom Brady and Giselle, and that they were part of that crypto thing, and that weird guy with his bad hair. And is crypto like done? Are we like done with crypto?
I hope so.
I never bought any
I
of
didn't
it,
get
and I
into
never
it.
understood it. And like,
Maybe that's why they're disappearing.
because Heather didn't understand.
Because Heather didn't understand. Hurt people, Heather.
I never understood it. The amount of times that Drake and Peter tried to explain it to me, and I know there's women all over the world that had a boyfriend or a husband try to explain cryptocurrency to them,
God.
or an NFT. Both things I'm ready to goodbye for 2023.
Yeah.
Can we just goodbye to that?
However, talk to me about a Buddhist monk doing meth. I'm in. Like, I just don't care about trading and coin passing and, oh, it's $50 million to get this non-fundable token. Get out of here. I'd rather go to like a Chuck E. Cheese. That's the tokens that
Yeah.
I'm familiar with. I don't know anything about it. And I don't
and
care.
even those tokens, like when it would be time to leave Chuck E. Cheese, you know, and I was like so cheap and everything, I'd be like, oh, I got to save these tokens.
For next time.
For the next time. And then the next time we'd go, I'd always forget them. Is that how cryptocurrency
I
works?
guess, yeah. Or you'd have like 2 tickets left. You can't get anything with them. You're like, oh, I'll bring them back next time. Also, who's going back for a next time? Oh, I miss those days.
Anyway, very sad. I mean, he looks like a cute guy. I don't know why. And then
She looks photoshopped
They
in
said
this.
that what was weird about it is that it was perfect weather.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the like nicest, newest helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like unlike a Kobe Bryant, like there was weird weather. There was, you know, definitely factors. And there was like a very experienced pilot. So it makes someone think, did someone mess
Some
around?
tampering?
Yeah, some tampering.
Is this his wife or girlfriend?
I'm not really sure.
I wonder if she was with
I don't know
him.
all the details, but hopefully not. But yeah, I mean,
It's giving me Anastasia vibes. Do you remember Anastasia, the like lost Romanov princess?
No, what's
Remember?
that story?
Oh, the Romanovs? Did you not watch The Crown this season?
Oh, is it this season?
Alexei
I'm
Romanov.
starting to watch it because
Yes.
of course, I'm the most interested in the Princess Diana stuff.
Oh, the Romanovs were
I am
like the
freaked
Russian.
out that she's 6'3".
Yeah.
The actress. And
But
that she's bending down all the time. But I'll get back into it.
The Romanovs were like the last of the monarchs in Russia that were related to Elizabeth's family, and then when the Soviet Union was getting Russia, took that family and told them they were escaping, and then shot them all in their basement, the whole family.
I remember that. I mean, I remember that story.
And the urban legend was that one of the daughters got out,
That's
had
right.
amnesia, and then Meg Ryan voiced the cartoon of Anastasia, which is now owned by Disney, but it was Fox to begin with.
Good, juicy history
Yeah.
mixed all together.
Yes, the Anastasia Romanoff. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that.
You're welcome. It's a great
Well,
Christmas
I don't
movie.
know, but there's something weird going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Katherine Heigl. Do we remember Katherine Heigl?
Yes, we do.
Katherine Heigl, you guys, was the star of Grey's Anatomy that's been on for 20 years. How long has it been on?
20-something.
Shonda Rhimes. And, you know, I had a theory about what happened to Katherine Heigl. What basically happened is back in the day, she got fired or quit or something from Grey's Anatomy. And I always felt that she had a co-star on that show. Mm-hmm. I believe was her gay best friend.
Oh,
and
right.
I think she was a product of a gay best friend blowing up her head too much, which is something dangerous that can happen to many of us. And
keep your gays at arm's length.
I'm just saying, don't believe everything that your gay best friend tells you about how great you are.
Unless they're amazing like me.
No, listen. Mm-hmm. A gay best friend, this is why we love them, because they give us everything we need from a man, but they're so much more fun, and they can blow up our ego way more than our heterosexual partner, husband. Mm-hmm. She got too big for her bridges, and she fucked it all up. And now and she left the show, and she had all these movies and everything, and it all just went to shit. Mm-hmm. Like, remember she had all those dumb movies they play at the Dry Bar now? Like, what happened to her?
I heard she was just very unpleasant to work with.
Very unpleasant to work with. Will you look up the other guy that was her best friend that also got fired?
Yeah, his name was George on the show.
And then, and what happened to his life?
He actually was one of the first guys I think that came out in like a big television series.
TR Knight. Yeah. Where is TR Knight today?
I don't know.
And then also there was the black guy
and he was homophobic
that said something bad about TR, and then he got fired too.
Yes. His name. What was his name?
TR Knight is now married to a man.
What if it was like TR Knight?
Washington. It was something.
TR Knight
Washington.
is now married to a woman. No, he
Isaiah
is married
Washington.
to a man.
Isaiah Washington. Was that the homophobic guy on Grey's Anatomy?
There's just a lot to the history of Grey's Anatomy back in the day. Mm-hmm. This is a Shonda Rhimes show. It's kind of her first one. I mean, she's done a million things, and so she did this article, and she said, so she adopted this daughter from Korea, and she said, I never got to see my baby because I was working so much, which again isn't Shonda Rhimes' fault. Like, you have a baby that's not. It's very hard to do. I think to do a medical drama is by far the hardest thing for someone to do, because the hours and it's single camera and all that verbiage and language is very, very hard. And so anyway, then she let go. And in this Us Weekly article, she's like, obviously now her kids are older, and who knows how much residual she gets off on the shows that they play at the Dry Bar. The movie's about 27 dresses and men and women think different, whatever that dumb one was. And all these other ones where she's always angry and beautiful and she's type A and like, I remember that one. And like, she was such a bitch to her sister.
Wasn't she in Roswell too? That show Roswell on like the CW.
And anyway, she like says, well, I would love to, talk to Sean and get back on the show. So is the show just never ending?
Yeah, no, it's
like an SVU. It never has to end.
No.
We can always just add new doctors. There can always be new things going on. I've never really watched it, as you can tell.
I'm trying to remember. She went on The View. Was it The View? Where she was talking about, like, I never saw my daughter. It was like her daughter's first appearance on national television after she adopted her.
Okay.
And then she was like, I had to go away. And it was so weird because I was doing this movie where, the children in the movie, I was bonding with them more than I was with my daughter.
No, that's this.
Yeah, and my daughter.
She said I had a child on Grey's that were triplets.
That's what it
and
was.
I was spending more time with those triplets than my own daughter.
Yeah. It's called
working. It's called working.
Yeah. But now her daughter's like in her teens and it's like.
Yeah, it does seem fucked up. I remember reading something where someone wrote this article like, it's so sad. This woman is a nanny.
Yeah.
And she also has children, and her mother watches her kids so that she can be a nanny for this woman. And isn't this fucked up that this nanny has to be a nanny for other children instead of her own? And I'm like, no, she's a professional caregiver.
Yeah.
And the woman that she's carrying, that woman has to go be an attorney, and she doesn't get to be with her kids. Some people have to work.
Yeah, get over it.
Some women have to work. You said you wanted to work,
But
and now
also,
nobody wants to work, as Kim Kardashian would say. Women, You can't have it all.
But
you
also-
just can't. You can have it most.
Catherine,
you can't have it all.
You've had some time off
Yeah.
to bond with your daughter.
Well, now that's why she's doing this article.
She's
now
like, I bonded with her. I'm
Yeah.
ready to work again.
Now my kids at school there, and they're 12 and they don't want to be around me. So can I like fucking get on set and have some craft services and hang out with Shonda Rhimes again? Hey, girl.
Mama needs some cheese cubes.
Hey,
Let's
girl.
go.
Remember how we used to cackle? God.
But didn't she die on Grey's? She did.
Heigl?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, she did.
Look it up, Annie.
She didn't.
I have to look this up.
Annie.
Spoiler alert.
Whoa, Annie.
Didn't she get diagnosed with cancer and die?
She did, but she did not die.
She did not die from cancer, so she absolutely can come back. She wouldn't be
Okay.
saying this in Us Weekly if she had died. This isn't a soap opera.
I
She's
was
going to come
gonna
back
say-
as a twin.
She was Alex Karam out of the show.
Really? You know, you know how I always talk about wanting to clone? Like I wanted to clone myself and raise it, or clone my boys and raise like 2.0 versions of them, where I like fed them better and like got them tutors earlier in life.
Like the multiverse?
Yeah, and so that if she did die, 100%, it's a medical drama. Someone cloned her.
Yeah.
She comes back and she's just a nicer, older version of herself.
Like Dolly the sheep.
I saw this from the New York Post.
Mm-hmm.
More than 10 million of high-end knockoffs are seized in Lower Manhattan. Now they are? Because haven't they all just been out on the streets being sold?
Now?
Like, I was there and you
Yeah.
drive by Canal Street, they're out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not like in Dubai or Abu Dhabi with the
Actual,
where they go, come, and they take you to the, like we saw in Sex and the City, or where you go to a cul-de-sac in a high-end neighborhood and you go to those parties, or you know some weird person in Canada that can send it to you in the mail. There's all that. But this was blatant stuff that people bought.
Yeah. You want a Poochie bag? We got a Poochie bag.
And then today they just sent the cops over today. I'm very confused.
This has been going on since like the 80s.
Yes.
I'd say even sooner. You want videotapes? You want DVDs? You want
Like-
a Rolex? You want, yeah.
And all of a sudden they're like, what? We've blatantly been selling this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then other people are like, really? That's what they're cracking down on? Meanwhile, Kanye West said the IRS froze his accounts because he owes more than $50 million in taxes.
Okay.
And Kim, their divorce is filed and she's supposed to get $200,000 a month. I'm like, good luck with that. I don't know if that's happening.
Does she need it?
That's the settlement.
I mean,
We'll see. Julie Chrisley of
Mm-hmm.
Todd and Julie Chrisley is going to go to the same prison as Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine. I like to call her Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. You can call her Ghislaine. Ghislaine.
I don't really even know if that's true.
No.
This is from Christian Gray Snow, who's very funny. I hope it is. I mean, because I know that what is it? Ghislaine was, before she was sentenced, she had they put her in horrible conditions.
Yeah.
Prison. But I guess now that she's been sentenced in federal, she's in like the okay. So that's where she's supposed to go. Wouldn't that be interesting though? Like if you are a celebrity and you do go to prison and you're like, we should meet. We should, hey. I mean, we've got,
You get it.
we have years here, like, we should hang. Like, we probably know some of the same people, have stories to exchange for days. Even though she is from a rich legacy of rich people and fucked upness, Ghislaine from her childhood in England,
Ugh.
and Julie is a grifter married to a gay guy in the South who did reality TV and made fake docs, and the other one is a sex trafficker. I still think they could have some fun bologna sandwich lunches.
I think so too. Yeah, they could learn how
They
to
could get some juicy
sharpen
scoop.
some shanks. They could weightlift.
Just get to know each other. Just get to do a podcast together. I'm sure there's a podcast studio within the prisons. If there's not, that's going to be the next thing that's going to be happening. Podcasting from prison.
They could help each other write
The prison
their book.
podcast.
Yeah, God. Phew.
If these walls could talk, they can right now on
My guest here today and forever is
on Julie and G. We tell it all. This podcast is unfiltered. Two girlfriends talking. Boy, have we been through it. You think it was hard to be with Todd Chrisley? Let me tell you about Jeffrey.
We've got the tops and bottoms of the stories this week.
Anyway, this girl from Real House of Salt Lake City, she's like, want to know my secret? Oh my God, I'm coming out with something soon. This is Whitney Rose. And she talks like this. I'm coming out with something soon.
Yeah.
Anyway, I put a prediction in the comments. I said essential oils and a women empowerment retreat for spirituality and growth. So she's going to launch a weekend retreat.
Okay.
That you can go for therapy, yoga,
Sound baths.
eating healthy food, going on a
Wind.
hike. But you could also pick up her skincare, and she's adding essential oils.
At the bodega at the end of the retreat.
Yes.
And stop off at the gift shop and pick up your essential Whitney Wild Rose Lavender Hibiscus essential.
And this one is to
oils.
get you going in the morning. This one is when you just need to chill.
Yeah, if you just want to.
This one is for meditation.
Or just get Buddhist meth and just call it a day.
This one is, yes, or this one is for if you have any soreness after the hike, you rub it on your outer thigh. This one is for after a night of walking in heels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very relatable.
totally.
I think.
So see if I'm right.
Yeah, probably.
Let me see what else I have for you. Oh my God, this was crazy. Carnival Cruise. This guy, we don't know how he fell off the ship.
Oh, this guy that they found in the
Yes,
ocean?
this guy fell off the ship. So he's with his family on a Carnival Cruise. He's with his sister. They're hanging out. They're boozing all day. And they all go to bed. And they wake up and they're at breakfast. And they're like, we don't know where our brother is. Wait, he didn't come home. No, I haven't seen him since last night. Well, you never came back to the room. They tell the people on the ship.
The captain.
They're like, oh my God. They do go back, looking around. He was in the water for 15 hours.
No, more than that. It was 24 hours.
At I think it was 21.5.
Yeah.
From the last time they know, but he doesn't say how, I don't know how he fell in, but he kept getting in trouble for doing his vape in undesignated smoking areas. So
Same.
they think I think he was drunk and he walked out just where can I get out and do this? And something wasn't completely secure or whatever, and he
just
accidentally
hobbled.
fell over.
That's a miracle he survived in the first place.
Then some other ship or somebody another ship saw him waving a sock. He had no clothes on because maybe he was trying to wave other things in the past, in the hours that he was out there. And they said he was so near death, but he's totally fine now.
That's awesome.
Amazing that they found him.
There's nothing more terrifying than being stranded at sea. I could not even imagine. He probably took his clothes off. Being a survivalist myself.
Yes, what are you supposed to do?
I think he took his clothes off because
He was weighing him down.
it was weighing him down, A, and B, it's kind of hot. When those rescuers pull you out of the water, give him a little show,
The dick was so small by then.
So
though.
small. He had hypothermia. And also, in the middle of the fucking night, you're just treading water with nothing around you, and then something bumps your foot.
I've talked about this so many times. The scariest movie was Open Water.
Open water. We talked about it, I think, on this podcast. Terrifying.
It freaks me out.
And he had.
And when I've been on big cruise ships, I have that weird where I know everyone does, where you're just imagining what if I just jumped over right now? What if I just jumped over? And I'm like, stop thinking about that.
That's what I want to know is because there have been instances where people have fallen off of cruise ships, jumped off of cruise ships because they're on drugs or whatever, and they just die because the fall and the impact.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how high up were you? What level were you on? But what a crazy story. And I remember they pulled him in and he was shivering because it's I'm sure the water was freezing. That's a miracle in itself.
Yeah.
And you're just drinking salt water all day and and it's crazy how the exposure, he was just charred, just burned.
And what do you tell yourself? I'd love to get, hey, listen, guy, if you want to come on Juicy Scoop, what do you tell yourself to keep going and to be, and what's going through your head and And also, like, do you really not? Do you remember hitting the water, or were you so wasted that the water's what like woke you up, and then you're like, holy shit, and the boat's like gone.
Well, I would like to
Terrifying.
mention it is the holidays, and
Okay.
one of my favorite Christmas movies is Titanic.
Me too.
I love watching Titanic during the holidays.
Oh my God, that's such a good idea. I'm
It
gonna
is.
watch it again.
If Die Hard can be a Christmas movie, Titanic can be a Christmas movie.
Love it.
You know? But on Titanic,
On a
the
Carnival
chef
Cruise,
stayed
little
alive. Do you remember the chef? He was actually in the movie, and he was a real person.
Okay.
And when the ship started sinking,
So
he
in-
started drinking.
In real life, the chef survived.
The chef survived.
Okay.
Because it thinned his blood so much, the alcohol, that he could actually tread in the water without the hypothermia. So he actually stayed alive. And in
So
the actual...
you think this guy being wasted is what saved him?
Absolutely. And
Totally.
in the actual James Cameron movie,
Yeah.
Titanic, you see that character kind of stumbling around while the ship is sinking. They gave a little nod to that character. But yeah, if you watch Titanic again, there's a guy, and he's a chef, and he's like kind of bumbling around because he knows the ship's going down. So he's like, well, shit, I might as well just call it a night. And he survived because the alcohol thinned his blood and he didn't die of hypothermia. So if you're going to get drunk on a Carnival Cruise ship, go for it, because if you fall off, you're going to be okay when the Coast Guard finds you. Isn't that insane?
But they also may never find you. So it is insane.
Fair enough. They might also not find you.
Let's talk about White Lotus.
Yes.
We'll do this at the end in case you're not watching it, but you really should be. It's once a week. We have 2 episodes left. It's season 2.
It's too soon.
And I have not talked about it on the show, and I just want to talk about it. So this one it's a resort. It's in Italy.
Sicily.
It's beautiful. And it's Jennifer Coolidge is the only returning person from the first season. And there's really a couple different storylines. So there's Jennifer Coolidge storyline where her husband
Greg
is probably cheating on her and he leaves. So she's there with her assistant.
Portia.
And they meet these rich gay guys that are gay. And rich gay guys, yes. These are some upscale gays. And I could completely relate to meeting some great gay guys that just like take me under their wing and they're like, you've got to come. She's like, oh my God, Portia, we're going to go to on their yacht and go and, do you have some real nice things to wear? I hope you do. And so they're so excited. And so then, and the Portia assistant, she's thrilled because the gay rich guy, the main guy has a nephew who's hotter than shit and has an English accent and a twinkle in his eye.
From Essex.
And they bone, and so they all go on the yacht, and that's amazing. And I want to get we'll get to the cliffhanger at the end. Then there's this other foursome couple, which is very juicy. And this is Aubrey Plaza, who's great. She's married to her husband. They don't have kids, but they've been married a while. And he is this guy, and he's cute, and he's a runner, and he just made a ton of money selling his business. And his old college roommate, who's a successful financial guy, who's hot as shit.
Hot as shit. God.
And I will say, he reminds me of Nick Viall from The Bachelor.
Sure, I could see that.
And he has a little bit of a lish with his big teeth.
And he's British in real life, because of course.
Yeah, so because in real life, he has a British accent. I don't know if by doing an American accent, there's just a little bit of a lisp, but hot as shit.
And it's always the hot British guy who's like, well, I wanted to do a full frontal nude scene, but they cut it out. And you're like, oh, okay.
And so he's got this hot wife, and they have 2 little kids.
I love the wife.
So it starts out, and the Aubrey Plaza character is kind of cynical, and she's sort of annoyed by the fact that they're like so lovey-dovey and all this stuff. And but the Nick Viall character, he is flirty with her. So I don't want to give anything away, but I love this juicy dynamic. Overall of a show, it's a little slow for me, but I love it just the same, and I like that it's once a week.
Heather, it's Italia. It's not supposed to be fast, We just take things slow, and, we'll get around to it when we get to it.
I will say I enjoyed the head of the resort more in the first season.
Oh yes. Have you noticed the parallels of the seasons? How?
Oh yes, like explain the parallels.
Well, just like how the first season there was, obviously there was a death.
The first one was in Hawaii.
Yes, and then there was the very the gay concierge, and you have this one. You have what's her name, Victoria, or
well, I like that there's like themes I like that it covers everything.
Yeah.
There's surprises, there's infidelity, there's mystery, there's family,
there's the perfect
there's
life,
family,
but is it so
there's
perfect?
and like in the first one, I really liked Connie Britton's family dynamic.
I did too, yeah.
Because that was extremely relatable to me.
Of course, I bet it was.
That, they put in Connie. So in the first one, which you guys definitely should watch too, maybe watch that first if you want and you're looking for something to see. So Connie Britton comes and she's like this, like, kind of like almost like the head of Goop or something.
Yeah.
Like she's very successful.
A juicy scoop.
Yeah, and she has a husband and a horrible bitchy teenage daughter.
Sydney Sweeney,
who's super mean to the younger brother. And what I related to was just, and I talked about this on the show, so they're staying at this beautiful resort, which is, I think, the Four Seasons Maui. And so they have a one-bedroom suite. So the parents have the bedroom, and the teenage girl and her friend sleep in the pull-out couch in the living room. But then they're like, ew, weird, gross brother, take your roll-away bed and go in this small, like, kitchen closet. And that's where you're going to sleep. And it's so hot. The kid's like, and I thought about that. And because I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, Peter. This is our problem traveling with the kids, is that we try to cheap out. And poor Brandon, the third child, was always getting fucked, always getting the bad pull-out bed. And so I've been thinking about that, too. And, like, we're doing this house in La Quinta. And I'm like, we're going, oh, well, we'll make the office where we record Juicy Scoop, that can be Brandon's room. And we're looking at these like different pull-out couches and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, Peter. I feel like every pull-out couch sucks and is uncomfortable. And I don't want our youngest child to be the kid from White Lotus, like it's always getting fucked.
Yeah, because then he'll just take that mattress and go sleep in the desert.
And then stay in the island. Anyway, so it's all really juicy. And then there's the three generation.
I was going to say, you got to talk about Albie and his dad and grandpa.
So then there's the guy from The Sopranos, his old pervy dad, and his younger Stanford son, who's a sweetheart. And they're all there to like go and see their Italian history. And there's a lot to it. I don't know how much and then there's these two Italian prostitutes.
The two, Lucia and her cohort or whatever, and the prostitutes are everything. These girls are just sleeping with the entire cast.
The entire cast.
And then what I love is if we go into what you were going to talk about, which I know what you were going to talk about,
right.
when Jennifer Coolidge goes with the gays. Portia and the son, Albie, were kind of like the weird oddballs. She was the assistant, and Jennifer Coolidge was like, get out of here. I don't want to see you ever again, because Greg doesn't want to see you. So she and Albie had to like kind of connect and be the oddballs on this trip.
Right.
And you're like, oh, they're going to hook up. But then she met hot dick Essex boy.
And she's like, I know I should like the nice Stanford guy, but I really like this.
I'm on vacation.
And I like, this is who I want. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, yes, girl, yes, this is what you should be doing. You're a 24-year-old, whatever she is, assistant. This guy's hot. No, he's not going to be your husband. No, you're never going to see him again. Who cares? Like, fuck his brains out. And, okay, so spoiler alert right now, okay? Because then we have to talk about this. Sorry, Annie. I don't know if you're watching this. I don't really care. Okay, so... so now I'm going to talk about what I really thought was going to happen.
Okay.
From the very beginning, I thought that of the two couples, two heterosexual couples, I thought, no, the twist is that the two husbands, the rich guy who sold his company, and they were only like 30-something, and the hot Nick Viall character, were secret lovers in college, and they're going to fuck on the side.
Same.
And that's going to be the secret.
That's what I thought, too.
And...
Could still be. We don't know.
I don't think they're... Okay, maybe not. But did I dream this? Or was there a part where after... So the two wives go off for a night somewhere else in another Italian town. And they hang out with the two hookers. And the one Nick Viall character, he ends up sleeping with the main hooker, but the other guy doesn't. He just gets
doesn't.
really high and stands in a corner.
Yeah.
So afterwards, the guy comes over and he's like still hungover, laying on the bed. And the Nick Viall character goes, "I just want to be inside you."
Yeah, that's right. You heard that.
Was that real or was that bro frat joking?
I think it was frat jokey, yeah.
Okay.
But also that's where I was kind of like, go on.
Yeah, I was like, well, this is what I've been waiting for this whole time.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Okay, so, but now they revealed that he goes, you, Nick Viall, always went after girls I wanted.
You had that condition.
Because you knew I was the smarter, more successful guy, so that's what you had on me, was that you were like just more of a player.
You always want something that makes you look better if somebody else has something that you want.
Right.
Which is then he's touching Aubrey Plaza at the dinner table.
But I wondered, so I thought in the very beginning when they go to get him swim shorts and he changes in front of her, the Nick Viall character changes in front of Aubrey, I was like, I thought they were going to fuck right there.
No.
And now I'm like, okay, is there going to be a flashback moment where they have?
No, I don't think they have.
So he is just making the moves too.
He's going to be making the moves, and I think this is the moment for Aubrey's husband. He now knows that Aubrey knows that he's into her, because now she's going to use that as bait to be like, she's the one who's like, why weren't you honest with me about the condom? Like, you guys obviously, she's like, I was gone for a night and you did Molly and fucked hookers? Like, what?
Right.
And so now she's going to be like, okay, we haven't had sex on this entire trip.
Right.
Which they haven't. He was caught masturbating by Aubrey.
Masturbating to women.
To women.
So
but
I think
still,
he
could be
straight.
bi, whatever.
I think he's really straight.
But I think so too. But I think this is going to be her challenging her husband to be like, how bad do you want me to be your wife? So I think there is going to be a clash of the bros, the friendship. And we still don't know who the body in the water was at the beginning, because they said, remember, they said someone was dead. It's clearly not the wife of Nick Viall. But they also said there were multiple bodies that were found on the island.
When did they say that?
At the very first episode. She was like, oh, we found a body in the water. He was like, actually, there's more, too.
Who says that?
The hotel director to the lady.
And the hotel director is a lesbian. Yeah. And so that's kind of fun.
It's
and then
so
okay,
much
but
fun.
then of course the
juice,
juiciest part.
yes, go.
Okay, so spoilers, triple spoiler. Okay, so Jennifer Coolidge goes with the high upscale gays, and they go to the opera, and they come back, and they're staying at this huge mansion, and she kind of is like something wakes her up. But before that, we see the young assistant Portia with the hot English guy, and he makes out with her at the room, and he's like, I'm going to come right back. I have to do something for my uncle. And I immediately thought he has to service one of these guys.
Yes, I thought the same thing too.
And so Jennifer Coolidge wakes up, and she hears something.
This was like you and Napa, by the way.
And
Me
and
Evan.
I'm like, what are you two doing?
Nothing. Well, go back to bed. It's just Cabernet night terrors.
But I was thinking her walking in on gay sex is just way too obvious and so not a big deal.
Good for you.
So I was like, I thought she was going to see I thought we were ready to see satanic worship.
I thought the same
I was
thing
like, we're
for
going
a
to see
second.
something different. We're going to see something that puts this to, because for HBO in 2022, this ain't shit. This is not shit. Like, if this was 7 years ago, whoa.
You had us with rimming in season 1. What do you got for season 2? And I thought the same thing, because I only watch television now with the subtitles on. So it's like the subtitles come on, and it's like moaning grunts, snorting,
so Annie,
sloshing. Yeah.
Let's ask
Okay.
Annie, what do you think Jennifer Coolidge walks in and sees?
I feel like the satanic worship is the best.
Wrong.
Not wrong. She sees
Get
the
out.
hot English nephew butt boning.
Butt boning,
Butt
Heather?
boning. Well, I want to be classy. Butt boning his uncle.
Yeah.
Is it a three-way?
No,
No.
just the two of them. Like
But
Uncle?
his uncle. So it's like when he goes, I have to do something, it's like, like that's what I thought. Like, I have to service my uncle for this lifestyle. Like, we have an arrangement. I have to do this. And so everything's going through my head. I did rewind it 3 times. And because I was like, I have to see this. And so I think what's going to happen.
Okay. I have my prediction.
She's going to be like, whoa, this is really bad because this is his nephew. So this is incestual, but it could have been molestation. And was he grooming him forever? But I think it's going to turn out that he's not his nephew.
Correct.
He's an escort that they paid, and he's a pay for gay.
He's gay for pay.
Gay for pay. And he does really like girls. That's what he'd like to do. But he has no problem being a top.
A horny libido.
No problem being a top and doing stuff for money. And to him, it doesn't mean anything. It's not a big deal.
You are absolutely correct on this. And because I think that's the thing. It's like, oh, this is my nephew. Right. I think he's like passed around to all of his friends. I was expecting satanic orgy as well.
Yes.
Didn't get it, but I do think that's right. And also, I think they are scamming Jennifer Coolidge because they're like, oh, we want to go to this villa. Oh, we're going to go see Madame Butterfly. And they're going to leave her with the tab because in a previous episode.
Anna Delvey?
Oh, God, I wish.
No, but it's kind of an Anna Delvey situation.
Yeah. Well, in the previous episode.
No, but he said this is his place, though. He owns it.
It's a scam. It's not his place because Nick Viall said, he goes, all of these, no one's rich in Italy. He says they all say they own these palazzos, and they don't. Everyone's poor. And hot Essex boy took Portia to that restaurant, and then they dashed and dined. Dined and dashed. He's like, oh, I don't have my wallet. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, they're all broke. They're leaving Jennifer Coolidge. They're going to take advantage of her money and leave her with the bill. Watch. And now
Is there anything sadder for a girl that loves to hang out with gays?
Leave her with the bill.
To leave you with the bill, which is never, again, my gays don't overly party and my gays pick up the bill.
Yeah.
I feel like the luckiest chick on earth. That is so sad.
The White Lotus. Which also sounds like Frozen 2, the theme song.
A little bit.
But also, I think it's kind of amazing because now Albie, the son, is dating the hooker.
Right.
And now Portia is also now dating the hooker. Hookers are back, guys.
This is a strong hooker-themed situation. Juicy. I'm excited for the next 2 episodes.
I know, I loved it. It's a beautiful season.
I mean, I've been saying I want to do my Italy trip, and so this is really inciting, making me want to do it.
Someone's going to get their head cut off.
Yes.
That's my prediction because that whole goddess thing, that head that they keep showing, is someone's going to get beheaded. Yeah. And on that note.
Love you. Justin.
Yes. This was fun.
Just Saying is the podcast. Follow Justin Martindale on Instagram and whatnot. And...
I was going to say, I want to say thanks because people have been sending me their Spotify wrap up.
Yes.
And you and I are in both of them.
Yes, I love that. I shared that one. Whatever
it was so sweet.
Whatever that cutie did, I shared.
So sweet. And I can't wait to listen to my Spotify wrap up, which is kind of sad.
So
at parts.
great. Yeah. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye, honey.